Now, I want you to pretend that you're 2 or 3 or 4. We're snuggled up on the couch. We have the fire on, maybe a little bit of cocoa and rubbing each other's feet. And we say, oh my goodness, I got this book at the library. It's called Mr. Murray and Thumpkin. Oh, that's one of our phonograms we're working on. That T and H, when they join together, they say, oh, I like that. Oh my goodness, there it is, Karma Wilson. Now, what other books have we read by Karma Wilson? Oh, I remember Bear Sleeps On, and Bear in the Winter, and Bear Has a Cold, and all those bear books. We also have one Mortimer, about Mortimer and Christmas. I really like her books. I'm going to look at the library next time and see if there's any other books by Karma Wilson. There's one about a garden, too. We love to garden. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so when we're done reading this book, I'm going to ask you to rate it 1 to 5. What did you like about the book? And a 1's going to be a low one. It wasn't your favorite book and you didn't like it. And I'd like you to tell me why. And then you're going to give it a 5 if you really like it. I do that at home as part of the evaluation process, which is great for toddlers. And I have to tell you, I start reading a book, and my kids will go, 5, 5. I'm giving this one a 5. I'm on page 1, and they're like, oh, it's a 5, it's a 5. I'll tell you at the end why, but oh yeah, that's a good book. So here it is. Mr. Murray liked to worry. Mr. Murray was a practical mouse, and he liked to worry. And Mr. Thumpkin lived in a pumpkin, and he wasn't. So here we are. This is one of my favorite parts. Mr. Murray looked trouble. I have to advise you that serving your house for dessert is unwise. He grumbled as Thumpkin sliced into his pumpkin. And then if you could see it, Thumpkin is going all around and having a great time. And he's like, the snow's coming, the snow's coming. And he's like, perhaps we should save it. We'll shore up the side. We'll shingle the roof. Do something, he cried. And then the pumpkin smashes. It says a creak, a crash, a deafening smash. Now I have to tell you, one of the things our kids love is rhyming. Rhyming stories ignite their brain and be able to help them to make connections. They like the way that the sounds of the words are, so rhyming books are very popular for little guys. So then I stop. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We have a problem. Mr. Thumpkin doesn't have a house. He did not use his time wisely, and he chose to be in a pumpkin. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And we start to predict. And then, usually, they have great predictions. It has to be a realistic prediction. It's not going to be aliens are going to come down from space and take Mr. Thumpkin up to their land of Zodar. So we have to be in line with what Karma Wilson. And then also, I ask my kids, I wonder why Karma Wilson came up with this idea. Now, I know Karma Wilson, she likes to write about animals. She must like animals. I think so, because she writes a lot about animals. So then it says, and all Mr. Murray's worries came true. The two neighbors watched as the roof fell through. Mr. Murray cried, now what on earth will we do? Thumpkin said, lie back and take in the view. So then we're going to predict, and then at the end, I love it, because Mr. Murray goes back and forth, and he starts to worry. He's going to freeze. He's out in there all by himself. What's going to happen? And in the end, he says, and so Mr. Murray, invited him into his house. And Mr. Murray, who worried too much, and Thumpkin, who worried too little, lived out their days in a cozy teapot and met somewhere right in the middle. I like this better than Grasshopper and the Ant, don't you? Where he reaches out and he helps him instead of having him freeze in the winter. So, yay! So if you just take a look, I just did 5 strategies. I did a think aloud. I did an author's purpose. I did an evaluation of having the kids evaluate. I had them predict what was going to happen, all in one story. And I'm teaching my kids, good readers have these skills naturally. And they don't, really bright kids will take it up, but they won't know why they do it. And so we want to teach our kids these skills and use the name.